My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to the Bazaar. It's time to play our ranked Vanessa run, our free ticket of the day. Continue our climbing up towards Legend. I'll get there sooner or later. I mean, I'm Diamond 1 at the moment. I think I might exactly be 110 win away from getting to Legend status. Should be exciting. Oh, seaweed this early? A silver seaweed? Okay. Narwhal every 4 seconds deals 12 damage, and aquatic friend who is a weapon as well. Seaweed every 6 seconds heal 20. When you use an aquatic item, this gains 10 additional heal for the fight. This is capable of holding off almost everything right now. Katana, very fast attacking weapon every 2 seconds, deal 8 damage. And then finally a silencer. Weapon on the left of this has plus 20 damage. If you have only one weapon, reduces cooldown by 20%. I'm gonna take the seaweed. Leave open my choice of how I'm gonna get damage. Get a small friend. Well, the small friends are all gonna be aquatic here for us. I think. Maybe Pet Rock is not aquatic. Pet Rock would be the worst hit then. Alright, I'll go for the golden experience. I tried to hold off, but how could I possibly? It's so juicy. Does Vanessa have any access to when you shield triggers? No Armadillo, no Bushel. No, not really. So duct tape's a little less valuable on her. I don't think healing for 20 every 6 seconds is actually going to be enough to hold off the Viper, because they poison us for 2 every 4 seconds, and for 6, I believe, at the start of the fight. So yeah, it'll come down to Pyro here. I'd really love to, this is way too early to be talking about this, but I'd really love to have the version of the enchant upgrades for Seaweed, Fiery or Toxic. Because it doesn't just get burned for 5 every time you activate this, or, you know, poison for 6. It gets, when you use an aquatic item, this gains additional burn for the rest of the fight, additional poison for the rest of the fight. So you can have this be your primary damage dealer as well as your primary healing device. And then spend the entire rest of the board's focus on survivability and armor. Not shield. I'm certainly intrigued by the concept, but I can't exactly force it to happen. I'd love to use Water Wheel. I haven't used Water Wheel yet. Alright, so if we want to go for the level up, we've got to hit the Strange Mushroom experience as well. And then our next shop, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 slots on board to fulfill, all in Andy. Alright. I'll take anything aquatic, so Clamora immediately comes with us. I should take either Honing Steel or Shoeblade. Admittedly, Shoeblade is basically the worst weapon. So I'm going to take Honing Steel and then roll. This is basically a gamble. No. I'm going to take the Shoeblade. I was basically about to gamble that I'm guaranteed to find a weapon on the other side. I'm not necessarily guaranteed to find a weapon on the other side. And I guess we'll take Hand Axe as well. Do I want to take Powder Flask? I do like having Powder Flask as a reload, but I needed the other aquatic item in Coral here. Every 4 seconds when you buy an aquatic item, this gains... every 4 seconds heal 5. When you buy an aquatic item, this gains 3 heal. Coral's never really going to be anywhere near as valuable as Seaweed to us. Seaweed is 100% our healing strategy. Coral is just every 4 second aquatic activation trigger right now. I really want to take the Powder Flask. But if I do that, I have to sell something. And I don't think I want to sell anything.
Remember, diamonds come in small boxes.
I may not be the most masterful trainer, but I must be the cheapest.
Yep, I don't really feel like I can afford to re-roll use, so just weapons having plus 5% crit chance? Honestly, no. I'm gonna go for right eye. Your rightmost item has 8% additional crit chance. So now the shoe blade is all the way up to a 25% crit chance, and we're gonna be buffing it with honing steel. This build could easily get beaten by basically any armored core build. I'm not gonna be able to outdeal damage to outscale them. Okay, so it's ignition core. It's 2 tech items, the ignition core and the induction aegis, so the arc blaster is surprisingly quick. When you use a tech, you charge the arc blaster by a second. It's 6-second base cooldown, but both the ignition core and induction aegis trigger it. Thankfully, my healing is starting to come in strong. We're now at the point where every 6 seconds we're healing for about 100. My damage doesn't scale especially quickly, but their damage also isn't scaling especially quickly. They're buffing the burn on the induction aegis, which is okay, but my seaweed is really good at holding it off. Nice. We take the first fight. I'm going to need to be much more selective about my aquatic items this round around, though. We only have 6 gold after the income as well, yikes. You can't turn down the mountain pass and possibility of a fight. It's a treasure chest with an aquatic item in, Life Preserver. Every 6 seconds shield 10, and when you would first die each fight, heal 200. That's a lot of survivor. Oh, Nautica, you're here to sell aquatic items. Yes, please. Okay, I think I'm getting out of weapons here. I think that's a really good idea to remove from my build. There's a Clamora upgrade here, slowing a second item at the start of the fight. Admittedly, it is relatively cheap to pick that up.
Thank you.
There's also Harpoon. Every 8 seconds, destroy a small item, aquatic. I do like the idea of having that. There are some enemies that will just completely invalidate. If I really wanted to, I could sell 2 items in this store. So probably hand axe and shoe blade, if I had to guess. In order to buy a narwhal, which is just a fast aquatic trigger. I'm going to do that. I don't get to put it on board yet, but after the next fight, I'll be able to put it on board if I don't find any other aquatic items. Okay, so I can definitely heal the Rogue Scrapper. The problem is the Rogue Scrapper has more max HP than me. So I would have to specifically get a good heal at a good time in the final fight. The Life Preserver admittedly does make that more reliable, because they have 450 HP. I'll be able to heal up all of their damage very effectively. Seaweed, unless my Seaweed is the item that gets slowed at the very start of the fight, then on 30 seconds, so as the Sandstorm triggers, my Seaweed will go off for its 5th time. It'll heal us back up to full HP. And then we have 300 in our base HP, and then we have another 200 in Life Preserver. And the Rogue Scrapper has 450 total. So we've got 500, they've got 450. Is that... Admittedly, that could go wrong for us. There is also the possibility of going to the Giant Mosquito. The Giant Mosquito would definitely not be able to do enough damage to get past me. But also has the possibility of dropping me a Proboscis, which would be some damage on my board. Proboscis, of course, saying, when you slow, deal damage. I would even be able to buff the damage that it deals with Honing Steel. Admittedly, I'm actually more enthused about that now that I'm thinking about it. 2 pips of experience here. I still get to level 3 before we get to the 3rd day fight. Gosh, I'm actually being convinced. The main reason I think I'm being convinced here is because I can't guarantee that Rogue Scrapper will work out in our favor, because after the Sandstorm starts, and obviously we've got slows on Clamora, so we can't reliably predict when all of their weapons are going to go off. They also have a slow in Rust, an ability that triggers at the very start of the fight, slowing one of my items for 3 seconds. So I can't guarantee that items will resolve at the appropriate time for us not to die before the Rogue Scrapper. So that would be their weapons triggering during the sandstorm, but my heal not triggering during the sandstorm, that kind of thing. It comes down too close and too fine of a margin, and I don't want to give up 3 experience today. It's giant mosquito time. Also, rush at the start of a fight. Haste a weapon 3 seconds. Nothing wrong with that. Insect Wing for a 6% cooldown reduction on an item. Nothing wrong with that. Proboscis. Amber. Realistically, Amber and Keen Eye are the 2 hits here I'm least enthusiastic about. We got Proboscis. When you slow, deal 8 damage. I'm going to field that and the Honing Edge, and we're going to use the Clamor to deal damage with it. Strange Mushroom. I could take experience early. I don't have that much money. I'm going to go to the Strange Mushroom and look for a skill, I think. Yes! I was about to say, the best thing that I can get is damage, just so that the Proboscis is actually dealing an appropriate amount of damage, especially for the first hit of the Clamorer. Bronze tier weapon, 2 gold and bronze tier loot item, or a bronze tier item. I'm going to go for 2 gold and bronze tier loot item, because it can't be cinders or extract. It's scrap. 3 additional shield when you sell it to your leftmost shield item. I'm going to want a pearl to take that ideally, so I'm going to go to Andy, because Andy also has a bunch of other things that I'd be interested in picking up. I'm assuming this is just one of those, like, oh, you got momentarily dropped, as soon as you reconnect, everything's fine. Right. Just gonna very, very quickly off to the side here, check their official Discord to make sure there's not a notice that says, hey, it's going down for a hotfix at the moment, Ryan, you should stop recording. That'd be a very, very specific notification. And I see nothing of the sort. Great. Well, I get the scrap again. Oh, come on! Andy was removed, and now I have JJ. Andy is who I wanted. I really, really, really specifically wanted small items.
The Bazaar's a crazy place.
Well, I'm finding them anyways. Coral is not worth upgrading. I mean, I could go Ambergris and then buy Coral. I guess. I could... But that's like a really bad way to try and make money here. There's also Cannonball if I just wanted additional ammo in the Harpoon. And admittedly, that might be more impactful than getting Honing Steel out. Yeah, I'm going to take the Cannonball. I'm going to replace the Honing Steel with it right now. So if I bought Ambergris, it would have 1 value. Then if I bought Coral, Ambergris has 2 value. It's a small economic gain that I can play while I'm collecting aquatic items, I guess. It just comes down to me being willing to sell an item right now, which I'm not really. Actually, I'll sell Coral. I don't care about upgrading it.
Yeah, if that doesn't work out for you, come back for a refund.
There we go. So I spent 4 gold there, and I now have 3 gold in my inventory. Gentlemen.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies.
You do see these tusks, right?
Oh, a toys build. You got the marble and the yo-yo, which realistically should be a toy. The piggles. The piggles, I think, should also be toys. I don't know what the toy tag is ever going to refer to. I mean, I would love to see it. But there's more toys in that set. Okay, so that was the Yo-Yo and Yellow Piggles X that we managed to take down there. Unfortunately, their matchbox is still active, giving us a lot of burn. And they have enough items still activating that the matchbox is still pretty heavy. Oh, I managed to crit myself back to full HP. And then the Life Preserver went off afterwards. We miraculously won that fight. The second hit of the Harpoon against the Yo-Yo definitely guaranteed that. Give me Eelectric Eels. I'll run it. You don't know me. Mountain Pass. I'm definitely going to try and provoke a fight. Doesn't work. We get an experience. Middle, let's have a look at your medium items.
Huge. All about moderation.
I was wondering what I would do if I saw a barrel. Still good.
Oh, delivery's free. I like the exercise.
I mean, I can just out-shield and out-heal Storm. Scout. Trooper. He has a little bit of stuff that's interesting to me. He has a gunpowder for additional ammunition on the Harpoon. He has grappling hook and bolus, which are both slowing items. I don't really care about the slowing items, to be entirely honest. Has weak point detector, which if I had enough sources of slow, would be a fun way to buff the proboscis while benefiting from the proboscis. Rogue Scrapper's there again. I'm pretty sure I would be able to beat this version of the Rogue Scrapper. And Dabbling Apprentice, definitely I can win that fight as well. I'm going to go for the Scout Trooper. There's a couple of different ways you can get additional ammunition there. They also just have the Gunner skill, so we could just get +1 ammo for the Harpoon there. Killing 2 of their items can be pretty useful in that fight. I think that's probably going to be more impactful than having the barrel on field, actually. But also, if I have the barrel on field, I don't think they can win. Alright. I'm just going to field barrel and win that way. So by the by, a barrel says, when you use a non-weapon item, this gains 5 shield for the fight. All of my board that can be used are non-weapon items. Proboscis can't be used at all. It is a weapon, but it can't be used by anything. Thanks to the new patch. Well, I mean, it was that way before the old patch as well, so there was just a brief period of time where it could be activated. It can't be activated anymore. We're out of that meta. We're in a completely bold new one. Yeah, we can see here how it's very comfortably out healing and out shielding the enemy there. Uzi and Bolus are both completely offline. And I still had the Life Preserver in store. Give me Gunner, the skill. Okay. Gunpowder for +1 ammunition on...
Place to store the rest of the tyrant's
Admittedly, it's going to be the Harpoon is great. Pip teaches bronze tier skills. We can upgrade a bronze tier item. The bronze tier item I'm going to want to upgrade, I think, is going to be Harpoon. So it lowers its cooldown by a full second when it gets upgraded there. And then I will sell a gunpowder, giving it a second ammunition. And now I get to run the barrel in addition to what I previously had as a build. And I can even keep the Honing Steel on field. Admittedly, I probably do prefer the Cannonball, but the Honing Steel is another non-weapon item activating for the scaling the barrel, so maybe it's... Maybe I think differently. Artisan Dunes. That's a good way to give 10 additional damage to the proboscis just straight up. I pay 5 to double the options here, and then I give 10 damage to the leftmost weapon.
It's been nice talking to you.
Keen to sell no weapon items. I don't have like a glut of money to really give to anyone right now, unfortunately. I'm pretty survivable though, so I think I can afford to take the golden experience here from Lost Crate. The real way for an enemy to take me out right now is Big Bad Burst immediately. And Vanessa admittedly is one of the characters that's more capable of doing that than others. Oh, left-handed and rigged. Yeah, I was about to say, this has probably got a double barrel on board. That's good damage. The fact that the cannon is low level at the moment, admittedly, is holding them back. Unfortunately, my harpoon's not really going to be killing anything. And now, as we got pretty low there, but now we're going to be out healing and out shielding them pretty consistently, it looks like. I don't even think the life preserve has gone off the first time, which is really ideal for us. Sick. Let's have a look at that stat screen. Rigged at the start of each fight, haste 2 items for 3 seconds, and then having Beach Ball and Port as your only 2 aquatic items on field, so they're perma-hasted. Oh, that's lovely. The cannon definitely, like, at a single higher level, the cannon would have beaten me. Shield Potion wouldn't have made a difference there. It's just a nice item for them to have on board. And Double Barrel doing the heavy work of their damage. Seaweed and Barrel just getting high enough as my HP bar got low enough to bring me all the way back to full. And this is without any upgrades on... I mean, obviously Seaweed is silver tier, but like I haven't upgraded it since picking it up. Barrel is bronze. They're very powerful defensive tools. The dock. I do not have the items for the dock. You'd imagine that Harpoon would be able to work on the dock at least, you know? But no. Midsworth, you'll buy medium items with plus value. I'll sell my life preserver at some point, but that doesn't feel like right now. I'm gonna head to the docks and just work for some shield. No, I'm gonna go tool, because I'd really love to see Astrolabe or Captain's Wheel. Power Drill. When you haste, slow, freeze, burn, poison. Charge this 2 seconds. Honestly, I'm going to be keeping on a hold of that quite tightly for a long time. Especially when you enchant this thing. Like, it has a 10-second cooldown. If you enchant it with haste, slow, freeze, burn, or poison, it then immediately removes 2 seconds from its own cooldown. And of course, if it sees haste, slow, freeze, burn, or poison anywhere else on the field, it also gets charged. So if your rest of the build, you know, is hasting out of control, the power drill is suddenly going off constantly. All it took was doubling the amount of charge it got from those sources for it to become really cool. Especially now that we already have a Silver Proboscis, going to Curio to try and upgrade it, it's less exciting. It'd just be cooldown reduction that I care about from there. Level up and check out the silver tier skills of Argenta. Ooh. Ooh, I don't have a vehicle. Flashy Pilot. When you use a vehicle, your items gain 10% crit chance. Vanessa doesn't have access to many good vehicles. She's got Rowboat, which is hilariously bad. I'm not even going to perfectly remember its text, but it's basically off. When you use an adjacent aquatic item, this gains haste. And then when you use it, it gives haste to all of your small items. There's no build that really benefits from that more than from many other tools that that Vanessa has. Submarine, obviously, and Flagship. And, I mean, I don't have Flagship currently, but I could in the future. I probably won't.
I can tell you think deeply. That's good.
Improvised weaponry. When you crit, your weapons gain 5 damage for the fight. Admittedly, if I get the ability to start scaling crit, I'll do it. And then this is a good way for me to give damage to Proboscis after the board is established. So yeah, let's go improvise weaponry. The other was Honed Arsenal, and it would have given me 1% crit chance. This one feels like I should just go to Technovirus for the pure monetary value represented by possibly getting crypto, as well as for going more difficult enemy. Alright, we've officially defeated their poison, but they've also destroyed our Clamora, so our Proboscis does no more damage to the enemy. And also our Seaweed is off board. Thankfully, my shielding from Barrel is still coming in hot, and Life Preserver is still here to save me if I get down to 200 HP under my shield. The enemy has regen and I have poison, but that's not going to be enough to make the difference here. Nice. That's pretty much how I expected that was going to go on. Solar Bomb. When you burn, charges 2 seconds. Haste your other items 1 second, and gain 6 regeneration from the fight. I could imagine a world where, like, Power Drill and that burn tech both end up going on field. I'm going to sell Coral and then pick up the Solar Farm. Eating contest, some HP here would be great. Alright, I'm going to give the scrap to the barrel. I've been holding off on doing that, but I will. I am also going to sell the Narwhal. And I think I'm going to be getting rid of the Solar Farm. There's a possibility of pivoting back into Burn. What would it really require from me? So I'd want a source of slow that happens very, very quickly. So we've got Clamora to already do that. I'd want Lighthouse to see Clamora, because Lighthouse gets charged by slow triggers, so Lighthouse would go off, causing burn, which then causes Solar Farm to get 2 seconds worth of trigger. Lighthouse just doesn't give out enough individual triggers of burn for it to really work in the same way. I mean, realistically, the actual answer is we want a fiery enchant on Proboscis. When you slow, burn 2. And then we would be able to field the Solar Farm and Power Drill very easily. Honestly, only needing a fire enchant to turn that build online. Because then every time I slow, I also cause a secondary status effect. So the power, like literally at the start of the fight, the Clamora will slow 2 times, the Proboscis will burn 2 times, and the Power Drill will get 8 seconds worth of charge. And that's just off of 4 items on board. That's ignoring the fact that the Solar Farm is also going to get 2 seconds, 2 charges of 2 seconds worth of time, and that when the Solar Farm goes off, it's going to haste the entire board, causing the Power Drill to immediately go off again. I'm keeping these. I have to keep these. I even have to sell Cinders. Is that true? Is that really true? Yes, it is. I'll get +1 burn later. Burn is not the end point of the damage of this build. Snack time or middle. Middle, admittedly, selling Barrel or Life Preserver would be a huge hit here for us.
Take your time. I'm pretty laid back. Oh, I think you're really gonna enjoy that.
There's the Barrel, and honestly, I don't think I roll here. I think I just keep my 2 gold and walk onwards. Well, okay, so the roll would be looking for, at the moment, Turtle Shell, Dock Lines, Astrolabe, a replacement for Life Preserver, basically. We don't find a replacement for Life Preserver, but we do find the Wanted poster. If you win a fight against a player, gain 1 experience. If you have it in play, you gain an additional experience, but I don't need to gain 2 experience from that. I can just gain 1. The only problem there is then if I ever want to get a full chocolate bar event, I'm going to have to sell the power drill or the Wanted poster. There's also a silver tier fishing rod, which will fish up silver tier small aquatic items. Admittedly, I just want to upgrade the small aquatic items I have rather than get more. I'm going to save my money on both fronts, and it's literally because I intend to keep both of these until I turn level 10. Silver tier gunpowder for plus ammo. That's a really, really good way for me to just keep the harpoon online. It probably doesn't need to be able to destroy more than 3 small items. That's probably enough to disrupt whatever the enemy is doing in the instant.
I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms.
Okay. Piggles, Yo-Yo, Matchbox. They've got a land scraper. We're definitely going to have targets for 3 harpoons here. The first goes off against the Yo-Yo. That's got to hurt. And then the red Piggles that is giving most of the buffs for damage to the Jabalian Longbow. The enemy does not have more HP than me, so the Jabalian Longbow is not going off 3 times. And then finally, the Marble. No longer slowing our items. Now just imagine if we were critting constantly and increasing the damage of the proboscis. Because that's where we're on our way to. Weapons are possibly the thing I care the least for looking at, and gumballs are okay, but basically exclusively for crit shots. I got 1% crit chance across our board. I guess I also care about the rest of them. It's just the crit chance is so much better than all the rest at the moment. Alright, 2% crit chance across the board. We also got 3 shield across all our shield items and 50 max HP. Speaking of max HP, eating contest, an opportunity to buy some more chocolate bars. I'm gonna do it. Flame Jugglers here. Not really who I care about. Mod Squad with just First Aiden and Crypto? Breeding Duelist has the ability to give additional ammo to our harpoon via another gunpowder, but that's not better than the experience in gold. Come on, harpoon, don't destroy that Crypto. We need charcoal to go down. First Aiden would be ideal. First Aiden's down first. That's great. They lose their fastest activating character as well as their haste. Charcoal would be a really good hit as well. Unfortunately, we got a Crypto. This enemy does actually scale its damage relatively quickly, which is why I am advocating for specific targets. Bomb Squad got removed as well. Okay. Well, if it wasn't going to be Charcoal, I do want it to be Bomb Squad, so we'll take that in stride. Oh, nice crit on the shielding there from Barrel, also giving additional damage back to the proboscis. Chris Army Knife, a friend, a weapon, and a tool. Upgrade a silver tier or lower item. Argues Forger? I mean, the one I'm most compelled to do that for would be Harpoon or Clamora. I'm gonna go with Harpoon. Get an additional second worth of cooldown off of it.
The keener the blade, the quicker the fight.
You can't offer me a deadly duel and then think that I'm gonna take any other option. Diamond Fangs would of course be the best loot here. Your small diamond tier items have their cooldowns reduced by 30%. I'll settle for the Diamond Tier Pelt or a Shiny Fang. Shiny Fang, every 4 seconds, it's just 2.8 because they're affected by Diamond Fangs on the enemy side. Deal 40 damage with a multicast of 2. That's a surprisingly effective weapon. It's one of the only weapons that deals, effectively a hit every 2 seconds that's also small size, competing against Uzi.
You remind me of my first voyage
Dang.
around the globe. Unbearably slow.
Silver tier pelt and the docks is here. I'm gonna head to Andy for small items, upgrade to both seaweed or clamra, obviously ideal. Honing steel would also be a good hit.
Ask the price. You can't afford it.
There's the honing steel.
Buyer's remorse never. Be remorseless.
My economic play with ambergris earlier was too hasty. It was not, at that time, or since, a good idea. Lighter every 3 seconds, burn 2 is a small tool. I wonder if that's worth keeping, for the possibility that solar flame, the solar board is a good idea. It only costs me 4 to hold on to. This enemy's only won 1 fight, but I wouldn't be surprised to lose here because I've been, like, stagnant in power for a while. Oh, never mind. So, the Seaweed, Pearl, and Jellyfish here are integral to the enemy's build, and I'm going to kill each of them with the Harpoon, one after the other. And then they'll just have a very, very, very slow-firing Trebuchet left. A farewell to haste triggers. We even full heal out of the poison the enemy had applied to us. I really wish that changed your health bar back to neutral.
Defeat does
It's probably
not
going to be like another
defeat
2
me.
days' time until I hit level 10. I mean, theoretically, we could hit the enchant earlier than that. Chocolate bars. I would love to go to chocolate bars, but I can't afford to spend all of my money without getting powerful at this point. Powder flask for reloading. I don't think that's necessary at this point. Jite. For every 5 seconds, deal 5 damage and slow an item 1 second. When you slow, this deals 5 additional damage for the rest of the fight. Gains 5 damage for the fight, rather. I already have a version of that, and it doesn't require me sacrificing my positions on board. If this was higher level, maybe. Dang.
Ugh. Window shoppers.
Absolute wash there, unfortunately. Guard locker, get a small shield item. Jules locker, we'll go look at Kina, but... I mean, an upgrade to Life Preserver is admittedly useful right now.
Your aura guided me to what you needed.
Illuso Ray is a good slowing tool. It's just... it would require me to have another friend on board, so like we're talking about like Eelectric Eels slowing build. Star Chart's here, but I'm not going to take Star Chart. I think I can collect the Illuso Ray just for a speculative pick here. It's only going to cost me 1 gold. When I sell it, I'll sell it for enough to get... I bought it for 2, I'll sell it for 1. It's only going to cost me 1 gold to make this investment possibility. Enclave Weeper. Pretty easy way to get 3 experience right here. And definitely better than the alternatives. Enclave Weeper has a bunch of small items that are worth destroying, especially ectoplasm, so the enemy loses access to a lot of their healing, and also a lot of their scaled poison from death caps. Oh my god, we immediately got rid of it. Oh, that's so good. I don't even care what else we get rid of. We already got rid of the primary threat. So what builds beat me at the moment? Poison. Poison beats me. I have a 6 second slow, a 6 second heal that poison has time to kill me under. And it doesn't even need to kill me whole from 100% to 0 in that time. It just needs to whittle me down between the seaweed triggers. And that's just not that difficult to do, unfortunately. Malafong teaches burn skills. Admittedly, Hotspot would be an absolute hit here. Hotspot would mean that when the power drill is used in leftmost position, it immediately causes a burn trigger, and it immediately causing a burn trigger would immediately give 2 seconds worth of charge to Solar Flare. The only thing is that's 1. That's exactly 1 burn skill that is good here, because all of the other burn skills require me to have some burn on board to really start activating them. I'm going to go to Olin for gold tier skills. Outmaneuver the first 5 times you slow each fight, haste the vehicle 2 seconds. There's first strike. Your items start with plus 30% crit chance, but they lose that crit chance as you use them. Oh, thank you. Conflagration! When you use an item with burn, that item gains +1 burn for the fight. Admittedly, would be good if I had something to benefit from it already. Alacrity, the first 5 times you crit each fight, charge 1 second, improvise poison. When you crit, your poison items gain +1 poison, or Honed Strike. When you crit with an item, it gains 5% crit chance for the rest of the fight. I'm going to take Honed Strike. I don't like Honed Strike. I don't want to have Honed Strike. But I'll be taking it in this instance because I think all of the other things I saw were worse. Kino, you sell non-weapon items. I care about those.
Punish the warful.
That's a pretty that's a pretty cheap star chart to pick up just for dock investment. There's also dock lines, which admittedly having another slowing item on board would really increase our damage right now.
Shouldn't have buried that last treasure.
Use that for the good of all.
I think we are getting to the point that Life Preserver is now only saving me against builds that I will still die immediately afterwards to. I invested in upgrading that literally this level, didn't I? Oof. You're kidding me. I was about to do the trade. I was going to, and then I decided, oh no, how soon am I even going to encounter the docks again? Immediately, Raps. Hello. Duct tape. When you use the adjacent item, slow 20. Sorry, shield 20. And also, every 6 seconds, slow an item for 3 seconds. If I had a when you shield trigger, this would be so insane. But we don't. Also, if I had some way of scaling the amount that I benefit from it, but we don't. Oh dear. Up against another enemy with a impeccable win-loss record.
You should know. I'm a bit
Destruction is very useful in fights like this, but also it's pretty likely they have a build that just goes fast enough that by the time I'm destroying the core parts of it, I'm dead. That's a railgun. I mean, if the harpoon can kill the battery, we'll save ourselves some time. Never mind. Railgun's very powerful right now. I would love to run a railgun build soon. Literally next episode is Dually. We might be able to do it then. Oh my god. I've never seen more docks items than immediately after choosing not to invest in it.
For your size.
The Clamra. Slowing a third item is huge.
I mean, excellent choice.
Actually, I'm probably gonna have to sell the lighter at some point. Silver tier item, silver tier loot item, 2 gold for a friend. I'm gonna go with the silver tier loot item here. Ooh.
for said
6% cooldown reduction to our leftmost item. I like that. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm probably going to have to sell in order to use another eating event. There is Nautica, though. Let's go to Nautica.
Those ribbons in your hair look like seaweed. So cute.
A lot of haste matters items here. I don't want to have to use haste matters items, though. Like, this is our shielding, this is our healing. Both of those contribute to our full survivability. This is disruption, this is disruption. Both of those contribute to our damage by disrupting and causing the proboscis. This is damage scaling, this is disruption. I do have a want for haste in this build, but I don't have enough haste to use haste benefits. Can I level up by the end of today? Oh my god, the Clamor upgrade to Diamond. That's literally perfect. I'm actually going to hit the cooldown reduction cost on Diamond as well. Let me get rid of the lighter and
Scrape off the barnacles.
Diamond Clamor. Every 8.5 seconds, slow 4 items for a second. So at the very start of the fight, it triggers 4 times. That's huge. Viper Tyrant has, when you use the adjacent weapon, poison triggers. Yeah, those aren't useful. Joyful Jack. Joyful Jack does have a pacifist build, but then I would have to take the proboscis off field. And Chili Charles. Chili Charles just has the best resources here. Oh, I still haven't destroyed the ice cubes, but they're going soon, and that'll slow down the enemy's freezes because they won't be triggering the ice cream truck as much. Grand. Ice cubes. Every 9 seconds, freeze 3 small items 1 second. No, thank you. We will get our level up before the start of the next fight, which is good, because then that'll tell me whether or not I'm spending that on the Solar Farm Power Drill stuff. Specifically, if I get the Fiery enchant, I can field Proboscis as the Fiery, and then I can start pivoting towards something else. This giving haste to my entire field would be incredible. Aerodrome to travel almost anywhere. I could go to Isla or the Aerodrome, or I could even go to the Aerodrome and go to Isla. I'm gonna roll, and I'll just accept this. Too expensive to continue rolling here, friend.
In moderation, life and business.
See, there's Water Wheel is the thing. Every 9 seconds, haste your other items 2 seconds. When you use an adjacent item, charge this 2 seconds.
Happy to exploit you. I mean, help you.
I bought it. So let's say I took like dock lines and honing steel off field. I'm gonna have to sell a loser array here. I don't think I have spots for friends.
Large items, small items, grotesque excess.
I think Harpoon would come off field here. And we'd have Power Drill. I guess Power Drill doesn't necessarily have to be the leftmost, but it does have to be adjacent to Water Wheel. Clamora being adjacent to Water Wheel is interesting. It's a slower trigger for Water Wheel after the fact, but at the very start of the fight, Clamora activates, which means that the Water Wheel gets 2 seconds worth of charge, and it activates slowing 4 targets. When it slows those 4 targets, it causes Power Drill to get 8 seconds worth of charge. So 2 seconds into the fight, the Power Drill goes off, giving another 2 seconds worth of charge back to the Water Wheel, and we can get towards our haste. No, that's not fast enough to justify the difference between that and a 4-second charge on Barrel. Also, unless the Proboscis has the enchant, it doesn't make sense on field here, actually. You just have Honing Steel to increase the damage of Power Drill. Okay. Oh, wow. We'll even get a chance to look at how well this does. And this is all without the enchant? Radiant Corsair. I gotta say, yikes, but also this guy has a lighthouse. That could completely change the way I construct this build. Lighthouse every 6 seconds, burn 16 when you slow, charge this 2 seconds. So it immediately triggers at the start of the combat because of Clamora. We're getting nowhere near close enough to perma-haste for my liking. Water Wheel will need an additional second of haste. Oh no, wait! It got slowed by the Spyglass, that's what's doing this.
You know we're on an important mission, right? Overthrowing tyrants.
Uh-oh.
Fire my plumage, build rat.
That was unfortunate. We got a lot of money out of that fight, at least. Unfortunately, we didn't win it. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Okay. Water Wheel would give me the ability to give my other items crit chance. I mean, obviously getting a healing item, like, realistically, I could just take Seaweed off field by having Tranquil Spring on Barrel. Yeah, Barrel just heal me equal to the item shield. Okay, so if that enables me to take Seaweed off the field, then I can also take Honing Steel off of the field. And I could go back to even more slow triggers. Even more slow triggers gives us the ability to trigger the Power Drills even faster. Alternatively, I could go for Item Destruction. I'm gonna go with Item Destruction. I think the most vulnerable thing that I am right now against a pig that's only got 1 win on record is against a pig who's just managed to get Yo-Yo to a high level. Yeah, there it is. That's the gold Yo-Yo. So I don't think I don't know if I'm especially vulnerable here, but this is exactly what I was trying to deal with. Oh, we got Fiery Slingshot and Succulents. We missed Yo-Yo and Matchbox already. Got the Yo-Yo, missed Matchbox, but Matchbox was... Sorry, got the Matchbox and missed Yo-Yo, but Matchbox was part of Yo-Yo's triggering set, so... That's working off better for us. I'm shielding They are scaling their damage a little bit, but they're not doing a bunch of it compared to the amount we shield. They've got a good heal in the lemonade stand, but I'm pretty sure we'll comfortably have this. Yeah, they even heal at the right time, but we've got it. Nautica sells aquatic items. Admittedly, what I want there is either dock lines or water wheel, and not much in between.
I have so much new stuff to show you. I'm sure
There's
you
water wheel. We
nerds
take it.
know how to use that.
Wait, what was water wheel's upgrade? Oh, it lowers its own cooldown. Now it's on 8 seconds cooldown, which means it only needs 4 items active adjacent to it. That's cool. Down. Solar Farm and Proboscis still totally form a set of items we might want on field. Seaweed and Honing Steel are pretty much out, though. I don't think we need to roll here. Grandmaster, you sell skill upgrades. I'll sell things if I want to buy what you have. Right Eye, your rightmost item doubles its crit chance from 8 to 16%. Honestly? Yes. That's a pretty substantial upgrade. Burninator bot. Infernal Frigate. Infernal Frigate, admittedly, does have incendiary ammo when you use the adjacent item burn too. That'd be a really good way to, like, put Clamor over the side, just put that between them. I guess we're taking Harpoon off the field in that instance and maybe putting Proboscis on. Actually, I'm going to go for the Cosmic Rock. 6% cooldown reduction to the entire field is huge, but they also have 2 skills I'd be interested in. One is when you crit, haste for a second, and one is just, I think it's 12% crit chance to all of your items, which does matter when I have Hone Strike to increase that crit chance and Improvised Weaponry to benefit from it. I need to visit Curio as well so that I can get additional seconds of haste on the water wheel. If the water wheel has 3 seconds of haste, I'm pretty sure it can last until it gets back to its own next trigger, but right now it's just not enough. So that'd be buying and selling rocket boots in that store. I mean, admittedly, there's actually also another really good hit in that store, which is Clamora currently slows 4 items for 1 second at the start of the fight. And Curio sells items that increase the slow duration by a second.
It's over already.
All right, yeah, there's Keen-Eye, 12% crit chance for the board, as I'd said. I'm not feeling particularly flush with cash at the moment, so I'm going to go to the workshop and get a tool for free. We get the shovel at the start of each day, get a small item from a random hero. Slow-mo Lumbra, hello, buddy. Teaches slow skills. There's also Old Zane, teaching unique Vanessa skills. Unique Vanessa skills tend to be based around aquatic items. They do have aquatic haste, though, which is probably the most impactful thing.
And may his bones sink to the bottom.
Bullet time. The first 4 times you use an ammo item each fight, slow an item for 1 second. That's triggers of the power drill from using Harpoon. But there's also Oceanic Rush. At the start of each fight, haste an aquatic item for 2 seconds, which is immediately 2 seconds worth of charge on the power drill.
Anyone asks if you've seen anything, you
I'm going to sell Seaweed and Honing Steel, recognizing that they're almost never making it back on field at this point, and knowing that if I forget to leave space for the shovel, I'm going to kick myself. Mysterious Bottles. Hey, Staborgia! Upgrade an item. Oh, wow. Is it Shovel? Restorative Barrel gets 5 additional shield that it scales every time. The Water Wheel admittedly does get a 7-second cooldown. And right now it's not triggering off of, you know, the other items triggering to it adjacently enough times. So upgrading the Water Wheel is huge. I think I need the power on board right now. I'm going to hit the Water Wheel. It's also a very expensive upgrade to purchase.
Haha. Now this will inspire the crew. We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble.
That'd be a fun
with
cartoon.
nobodies.
Wily Odysseus. I guess the Roadrunner is Cersei. Ooh. They've got a power drill going on big time as well. Unfortunately, they're going to get much better at it. Grease Fire, when you use a tool, burn 3, and the Toxic Power Drill. So the Power Drill itself is a tool. So when they used it, I mean, it had an 8.5 second cooldown. When they used it, it would immediately get 4 seconds of its cooldown from Grease Fire and the poison it inflicts. And it gets haste from the Shadowed Cloak adjacency, so it gets 6 seconds of its cooldown immediately. Dang. Just too aggressive for us to deal with there.
Make
Let's visit Kina.
deals, not war.
Astrolabe, when you use another non-weapon item, charges 1 second, and at 5 seconds, it hastes a non-weapon item for 2 seconds. Not what I need. Swashbuckle, adjacent items have additional crit chance, and they also have additional damage equal to their crit chance. Honestly, also not what I need. It would be a fun way to get some more scaling on the Restorative Barrel, as well as give it more crit chance. And then, as it crits over the course of the fight, it gets additional damage and healing, but it's actually relatively small amount of scaling it gets there. Dock. Ooh, Grape Shot. When you use another item with ammo, reload 1 ammo. I'll sell that.
You're listening to your needs.
Nothing here I want. Harpoon is definitely one of the furthest items from going back on board. I will visit B1 and B2 with all of these items still, because I'm still leaving myself open. Power Drill for 25 more damage on you. And then Solar Farm for an additional second of haste on all adjacencies. It says haste your other items. Yeah, so it does the same thing as the Water Wheel. It's just this comes off of burn triggers. I don't have burn triggers at the moment, but if I did have burn triggers, it would be so much better. And the burn triggers could come out of slow from that item. I'll upgrade the Solar Farm when I have it on field. I'm admittedly already pretty invested in a completely different upgrade. Alright, Revenant. You came back more powerful. I'm still going to destroy 3 of your items. I guess I hope this time it's the Ectoplasm, the Soul Ring, and the Basilisk Fang. It's not going to be those, because we've taken down literally the other 3 items. Theorable Bandages and Emerald. That's fun. We're almost at perma-haste now with the Water Wheel. Just short of it. Enemy has some good regen. Thankfully, I also have some really good healing. The Restorative Barrel. Keeping me around, healthy, and alive and vital. Basilisk Fang. While your enemy has poison, this has 25% additional crit chance for the fight. This no longer scales additional crit chance every time you poison the enemy, which made it really good next to Swashbuckler. Gold tier loot item, gold tier aquatic item. I'm going to go gold tier loot item looking for the cooldown reduction. We do not find it. We get 10 damage.
They have stories.
Alright, Pearl. Why don't you show me something important? Throw net. Every 5 seconds, deal 10 damage. Your weapons gain 3 damage for the fight, and your opponent's weapons lose 3 damage for the fight. Way too slow for this meta. Blue Nanas, 120 max HP. Admittedly not bad. Crusher Claw, deal damage equal to the highest shield value among items you have. If I was just focusing on scaling the restorative barrel, that could get to a funny number. But not funny enough. Improvised Bludgeon, this is another option, or one option rather, for increasing the amount of slow that Clamor is giving out, but I think I care more about increasing the haste from Water Wheel. Venomander and Tesla Coil. Sleeping Potion, a Grenade, and Sapphire. None of those seem powerful enough, really. Micro Day. When you use a small item, charge this 1 second. There's also Icebreaker. When any item gains freeze, charge this 2 seconds. When this item gains freeze, remove freeze from it. And when you trigger it, it removes freeze from your items. Snow Globe as well. Runic Double Bow, Magma Core, and Beach Ball Wigan. Surprisingly poor items here consistently. A level, gold, sorry, tier yo-yo. When you use an adjacent item, charge this 3 seconds. That's a pretty good way to charge the Water Wheel really fast, admittedly. That's actually a really good way to charge the Water Wheel fast. Water Wheel charges 2 seconds when you use an adjacent item, so as soon as I use the Water Wheel, the yo-yo is gonna, I mean, especially if I upgrade it to Diamond, immediately give 2 seconds worth of charge back to the Water Wheel. Unfortunately, it is not a non-weapon item for the scaling of the restorative barrel. The barrel is not getting much scaling anymore. I could definitely see the world where the barrel needs to be replaced by dock lines so that I just attack a lot faster. Paul has a crow's nest. I look at Paul's crow's nest and go, thank you, Paul. Goodbye.
Out here and there, so rushed, so confused.
We're up against Airstrike, a legend who also hasn't dropped a fight yet and is Dooley. Has Flashy Pilot and mixed messages, and yep. That's Race Call, Ballista, Missiles. There's First Aid on the field, a heavy companion course, so they're going to be slowing my items as well. Thankfully, I'm going to slow their items, but that Ballista is going to gain enough damage very, very quickly to be able to shoot me in the face for 1 billion trillion points of damage. Oh my god, I didn't leave space for the shovel.
Time is an endless now. Who are you again?
Enchant a weapon with lifesteal. Honestly, probably the worst of the pickups we can make here. I'm going to give that to Proboscis, and I'm going to be sad that I had to give that to Proboscis.
I will not fail you, Father.
Ah, a friend. I mean, a customer.
Wait, hang on. Did the item spawn? It did! We got Wallace. Goodbye, Wallace. Thank you for the 4 gold. Eelectric Eels. Hello. Repeater. When you use another item with ammo, charge this 3 seconds. I don't dislike that. Eelectric Eels. Every 6 seconds, deal 10 damage and slow an item for 2 seconds. When your enemy uses an item, charge this 2 seconds. I could replace dock lines and yo-yo with Eelectric Eels.
Happy to make a sale. Sad to say goodbye.
And we'll see how that goes for us. Middle, you sell medium tier items. I'm just going to look at them.
I'll help you find who does.
Astrolabe. we don't really have non-weapon items anymore. Those are kind of a thing of the past for us. Once upon a time, this turtle shell would have been an incredible hit for us right there.
It's a relationship, you know?
Upgrading an item for the electric eels to be able to, I believe, charge 3 seconds. Yes, so now they'll activate every 2 times my enemy uses an item. The Awakened District is a huge hit here, specifically due to the trickle-down economics. When you use a large item, haste an item for 4 seconds. Unfortunately, my enemies aren't going to be using their items particularly quickly, so they're not going to trigger my electric eels particularly fast. Thankfully, I slow them, which is really important. I'm not going to be able to do enough damage in this fight. This was a really bad choice from me. Oh my god, this brings up a lot of the weaknesses of the builds. That was a really bad choice from me. I keep forgetting that I keep going to the Awakened District on day 10 and then just getting my face beaten in. Improve your weapons. Okay.
Every action changes future. Form is too deep for you.
Enchant your leftmost weapon with lifesteal, says Enchant Obsidian. Admittedly, I really would have loved most other enchants here, but okay. We could also upgrade our leftmost weapon, or give all of our weapons additional 10 damage. Give your leftmost weapon plus 25% crit chance. I need some way for slow to scale my damage right now, because
Change your mind.
I don't have it.
Can change whole brain.
Oh my god. Thankfully, Lord Arkan will be activating a lot of items here, so we are going to be constantly going off, which was one thing we lacked in the other fight, but is that going to be enough to keep us up? I mean, we are getting some damage scaling from improvised stuff. The enemy no longer has access to their battery, but their Gatling guns are starting to fire faster. Yeah, see, when the enemy's using a bunch of items, we do things. It's just when they aren't, we don't. Gatling gun, every 4 seconds, fire, and then lower your cooldown for 10 seconds. Sorry, for 10% rather for the rest of the fight. Adira.
I've been watching your progress. At last, here you are.
Double the damage of your large weapons. Both players' weapons have double damage. The problem is doubling the damage of electric eels literally means nothing to them. I don't think I'm saved by big guns here. I think all I can find is knife tricks or retooled. Circle of life. Give lifesteal to your leftmost weapon. I mean, there we go. If I reorganize here, we can have lifesteal on all of our weapons.
Power is wisdom. Something like that.
I just needed more scaling. I needed more skill scaling for what I'm doing. And I just don't have it together yet.
Go ahead, underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
That's going to be a lot of burn. Thankfully, they will use a lot of items, so I'm going to be doing a lot of slows with my... Wow. That freeze on the electric eels, the 3-second freeze from quick freeze, is really potent there for him. I mean, that's not going to be the thing that made the difference. So we're all familiar. It's going to be the fact that they've got burn, and my damage does not scale fast enough to keep me competitive against them. We've got shield scaling as well every time I use a weapon from Hardened Shield, so... Why?
My father lives through me.
I just needed a useful enchant. Just one useful enchant at any point. Why? The Clamra upgrade was really good. Got that very, very early. Got the electric eels to turn up late. Obsidian Bow Drill was working kind of well with them. It just wasn't having enough of an impact that it wasn't firing fast enough. Basically missed entirely on our diamond enchant as well. Pretty poor result from our gold enchant too. Rough. Thankfully, by earning exactly one chest, 6 wins is enough to keep me static here, and we do confirm that my next 10 win will get us into the legend ranks. Which means, of course, that I'm gonna have to do that next. Oh wow, one chest gave me the ability to open 30 here. I was on 29 before, and I only open when I have 10 of them collected. I'll return to the spiel about how I'm going to get the 10 win in the next episode. After we open these. Ooh. This one had an extra chest in it. Oh? Okay. So this one did take a little extra time. It's a new rug, rather. I don't know if I've got that one before. I also don't know if I've had that box before. Let's have a quick look. Okay, yes, I already did have that stash. And yes, it looks like I also had that rug. They should both be familiar to me as well, as they were the ones I was just using. For the moment, my name's Rhapsody. The name of the game has been the Bazaar, top left of the series playlist for all of my content on the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations down below. Streaming Pass is the name of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Out above the thank tier, and a special thanks this episode to Moms. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.